Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. Lovie Smith set to become the next head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He'll replace Greg Schiano, who was fired along with GM Mark Dominic on Monday. Lovie Smith, most recently the head coach of the Bears, had an 81-63 record in his tenure there in the regular season. And look, to put it bluntly, there's not many NFL head coaches looking for a job that are 18 games above 500 in the regular season. Most of those guys have jobs and keep their jobs. Lovie Smith was fired after a 10-win season in 2012 with the Bears, and I think this is an excellent hire by the Buccaneers. Too often, media types, organizations try to focus on the next shiny coach, the next hot young assistant, the next college guy. When you got a guy in Lovie Smith sitting here who has done it and is proven at the NFL level, and it is an especially good hire for the Buccaneers because this is a team with a lot of veterans, a lot of high-priced veterans, big free agent types, that they need a guy to come in there that they can respect right off the bat, respect their body of work. Those coaches tend to do better, okay, in that kind of situation, in that kind of locker room. And that's exactly what you get in Lovie Smith. I mean, when he coached guys like Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Julius Peppers. These are all big-name guys, okay, big-time players that absolutely love Lovie Smith, okay, and, that have nothing. I've never heard anyone say a bad thing, a player, about Lovie Smith, and that's the kind of guy you need in Tampa because that's where I think Greg Schiano, things started to go sideways on him. He's tried to be too much of a disciplinarian without the track record. Now you get a guy in Lovie Smith who's a little bit more calm, a little bit more reserved, but commands respect in the locker room, which I think is extremely important in Tampa. They have Gerald McCoy as a building block, obviously Levante David, Darrelle Revis, Deshaun Goldson. On the offensive side of the ball is where Lovie Smith will have to make a good hire, in my opinion, and decide right away with whoever the new GM is if Mike Glennon is the quarterback of the future for them. Because other than Glennon, they have Doug Martin, who's going to be coming back from injury. They have Mike Williams and certainly Vincent Jackson. So there are pieces there in Tampa. I think they can get better relatively quick. If you listen to my needs analysis draft video for Tampa, I mentioned I think they might need another edge pass rusher, a defensive end pass rusher, and I think that defense could be amongst the tops in the league. And that was before I knew Lovie Smith was going to be their new head coach. So I think from all angles, this head coaching hire is right on the money for the type of roster that Tampa will bring back next year. We'll see how this plays out, who they bring in as GM, where they decide to go at the quarterback position. But for now, Tampa gets a guy who, again, I hate to keep on harping on this, but I think it's a big deal. A guy who's proven himself at the NFL level as a head coach, a guy who commands respect in a locker room, and oh yeah, he's 18 games above 500 as a coach. So I like the hire of Lovie Smith to the Buccaneers. Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at @SNewsAnalysis. Guys, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I talk NFL 24/7 on here, and I'll be going into a lot of draft stuff and already have started. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.